Shalom, brothers and sisters. Welcome in the name of our Master Yahushua. As you see on the screen, I have some tea to spill with you today. However, that tea is not gossip, as we know that the servants of Yah do not gossip. I wanted to come before you today to do this brief teaching, and I'm going to try to be as sensitive as possible and be careful with my words because I do not want to respond in the flesh. And so I will make certain that I pay close attention to that. I wasn't going to respond. Someone, just to make a long story short, the reason for this teaching on jury, and we're going to ask the question, is it sinful to wear jury? Is it unlawful? The reason why I'm doing this brief teaching is because last week I did a message on celebrities, and I shared my recent dreams that Abba Yah has been giving me about several celebrities. I didn't do all of them, but I just gave the gist message that was given to me to share before his people as it pertains to celebrity and the idol worship that many do. And so I had not, I didn't check the comment section. And in fact, if you don't know, I filter everything that goes on my channel. So even if you comment, it has to be approved first. I do not allow anyone to just put whatever they choose on the channel. And I do that for the sole purpose of protecting those who are new in the faith and to make sure that there's no confusion and debating on any of the teachings that we're doing, because this could turn people away. And so someone, a female, and I'll just say a female, she left a message, and she commented and basically said, well, I agree with everything you said, but you have on makeup and you have on jewelry. So when she addressed my attire, addressed the jewelry that I was wearing, I'm going to make sure that I put a link to in the description box to that video so that you can see exactly what I was wearing. I had just finished work, so I'm a professional, so I dress professionally. I just finished working. First of all, I want to address and say that I was not wearing makeup. I don't wear foundation, and when I have worn it, it was when I was doing publicist work for my business. But I did not have on any foundation. I did not have on any eyeshadow. I had on lip gloss and a colored lip stain. It's like a pink. It's almost like a nude, like the color of your lips, and lip gloss. And so when this person said that I had on makeup, and I, at first my flesh rose up, and then the Ruach was just like, no, and remember what I told you. And what was told to me is that you're going to the next level. And when you get ready to go to the next level, we have to understand that anytime he moves you, or you're being promoted or going to the next level, he always takes you to the wilderness for preparation. And that means you're going to be attacked. Okay, expect to be attacked. And I was reminded of that, and I wasn't going to address it. And then I was led, no, address it. But you address it the way that I taught you to address it, and you're going to use my word. Okay. And so what I do want to say is, in that video, I had on lip gloss with a light colored lip stain. I'm sorry if it appeared as if I was wearing foundation and eyeshadow and makeup, because I was not. My skin is just that clear. And the comment about the jury more than anything is what stood out, and this is the reason why I'm addressing this comment that was left. You guys never saw it because I did not put it on there. And so let's get into this brief teaching. This is not going to take long at all. We want to make sure the scripture tells us that when we study, that we're to study precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. Okay. Many have a problem with studying in context, and it's the reason why we have so many different doctrines in Israel. So many different doctrines that are going on in Israel. And if people really just took the time to study properly, study the way that our Abba Yah has commanded for us to study. Okay, study in context. You cannot take one scriptural verse out of its context, ignore every other scripture verse around it, ignore the preceding chapters, and just make a universal law. This is how we have the law is done away with doctrine, because they said, that we're no longer under the law. When you go deeper into studying, you will know that the Apostle Shaul, Paul, is speaking about two different laws. Okay, so it's easy to simply read words on a page, but to have the understanding, you must also have the ruach. And so this lesson is not to condemn the person that reached out to me, but it is to the people who are who frequently visit this channel. You receive teachings if you feel like you're being edified and built up. This is the reason why we had the course, a free course that was offered, Study to Show Thyself Approved, to teach the believing body of the Mashiach how to study, and making sure that when you truly know how to study, you cannot be deceived. Even from within the Israelite community, there's a lot of wolves, there's a lot of false doctrine. And when I first came into this walk, I was attacked heavily by many in the so-called awakened community. And some of the things that I was attacked with was, a woman can't teach. I was told, you cannot teach. You're a woman. You cannot teach. You need to, shut up, sit down, be quiet, and just let the man teach. And every man in Israel is your head. And I'm thinking, okay, I don't want to be out of order. I stopped teaching, and Yah rebuked me. He said, I solemnly charge you to get back to doing what I told you to do. And when I really truly learned how to study, I made sure from that point moving forward that I was not going to take anyone's word for it. I was going to have the Berean mindset. And so a woman teaching was one of the things that I was attacked with. I was also attacked with head covering. Okay, this was another teaching why I had to do a teaching on this, because people do not, again, they take one scriptural verse out of its context and make a universal law. And I'm going to be honest, a lot of people who are doing these things, especially in the awakened Israelite community, they're doing these things to keep people in bondage, to keep many of the women in bondage, to keep them from walking in the gifts and using the gifts that our Abba Yah has given to us. Many of this is Pharisee and Sadducee behavior. And Abba Yah, I was warned to get back to doing what he told me to do. Head coverings. I, had been attacked. Oh, you don't have on pants, all of the outward things. Now, the next thing is jewelry. I'm not going to address the makeup thing, because anybody knows me knows that I'm a minimalist. I'm not even promoting makeup, because I believe Abba Yah has even, and I, as far as like the eyeshadow and all of that, I don't even wear the eyeshadow anymore, because I truly believe that he does not want me to wear it. So I don't wear it, but I don't go around and tell anyone else. If that Yah has to reveal whatever he's going to reveal to you, as it pertains to that. But I know, I stopped wearing that. But like, even in the video, you'll see in the description box, I have on a lip balm, which is like a lip stain, a colored lip stain, and lip gloss. That's it. My lips are very dry, so I cannot go without anything on it at all. But like, as far as this person said, I had on makeup. They were acting like I had on blush and foundation and eyeshadow and all of this, and I did not. I did not at all. And they said that I had on jewelry. Okay, so the gist of this comment was basically, you're talking about, the celebrities, but you're wearing makeup and you're wearing jewelry. And this person was accused me of something that was not true, number one. And number two, they made a false accusation, especially as it becomes to jewelry, because as you're going to see, and when we truly study the correct way, you will see and learn the truth about jewelry and if it's sinful to wear jewelry or not. And so the first thing we need to do is to determine what is sin. What is sin according to the scriptures? If I am in sin, in that video I had on the tree of life, which I love. Okay, I have on the tree of life. That's the little necklace that I have, the tree of life necklace, and very small, dainty, barely can see earrings and some lip gloss, and I'm in error, I'm in sin. And we spend so much time, Israel spends so much time pointing a finger, trying to see what someone is wearing and the outward appearance. And I am by no means, because I don't believe, as women, I do believe that we should be in modest appearance. I don't believe that we should be walking around all the time where we got to have a face full of makeup and like what they're doing with the celebrities and can't go out with makeup on. I'm not even endorsing it at all, because I truly believe Yah is calling me to a higher level, and I'll leave it at that. But what I'm saying is, and I know people say, about the sorcery and the witchcraft with the makeup, and I get it, and I see that, but that wasn't the case with me in this video. And I don't come before you guys like that. I don't dress hoarse. I don't look like, I guess I was just a little bit confused, but I'm going to make sure that I do justice to this teaching so that it will be forever clear by the time we get to the end of this. So what is sin? Okay, so 1 John 3:4 tells us that whosoever commits sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law. So sin is the transgression of the law. When you are violating Torah, if you are breaking Torah, which we can find in the first 5 books of the scriptures, then you are sinning. You are walking in lawlessness. So since I was pretty much told that I'm wearing jewelry and I'm being pretty much, I'm sinful because I'm wearing jewelry, I needed to know if this was unlawful. Now, I knew when this person reached out to me that this person, of no fault of her own, did not know how to study. It did not know how to line up precepts and probably use scriptural verses out of context, like we often do in Israel, to try to keep people in bondage. I do believe in modest apparel. I do believe in I don't believe in wearing a lot of makeup. I don't believe in it all. I've never, as a matter of fact, I've always hated wearing a lot of makeup. I've never liked foundation, all the stuff on the eyes. That was never my thing. Even before I even came into the truth, I've always was a minimalist. Okay, and so is it unlawful to wear jewelry? Okay, we know that the scripture tells us that everything must be established by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. No one can be accused of breaking Torah or be put to death on account of one witness. So let's go to some of those precepts. One witness is not enough to convict anyone accused of any iniquity, which is lawlessness, or sin that they may have committed. A matter must be established by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. So we see here in Deuteronomy 19 and 15, that Yah says that it is not enough to be convicted. No one can be convicted by one witness. One witness is not enough to convict anyone of a crime. It must be established only on the matter of the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. Okay. Deuteronomy 17 and 6. On the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses, a person is to be put to death, but no one is to be put to death on the testimony of only one witness. Even in your own law, okay, it is written that the testimony of 2 men is true, or that means, or valid. And this was a Samaritan woman. She was basically saying, even it is written. So it is written. And where was it written? We just got finished reading it. Deuteronomy 19, 15, Deuteronomy 17 and 6. And I believe you can also find it in Numbers chapter 35 as well. 1 Timothy 5 and 19. Do not receive an accusation against an elder except on the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. So you cannot even accept or receive an accusation against an elder of a congregation unless it is on the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. Why? Because sometimes people can be dishonest. Sometimes people, especially if they don't like you, or if you guys don't see eye to eye on many things, sometimes you might think you saw something or think something happened, it didn't. So to be accused with one person is kind of almost like your word against my word. But if you have 2 people to say, no, I saw you steal that gum, okay, then it's more likely that this is true as opposed to just one person saying it. Even in the end times we have right now, the 2 witnesses, which is the 2 houses of Israel, the 2 houses, the house of Ephraim and the house of Yehuda, Judah. We are the 2 witnesses that are witnessing the testimony of our Mashiach, Yahushua HaMashiach, right now as I speak. It's not 2 literal people, but it's the 2 houses. So now that we have established what sin is the transgression of the law. It is breaking his law. Okay, and we know that if someone violates or breaks the law, that one witness cannot accuse someone of committing a crime. It must be established on 2 or 3 witnesses. So I'm going to make sure that I give you at least 2 or 3 biblical witnesses to support the fact that it is not unlawful to wear jewelry. It is not sinful. Okay, and the Bible will be my witness. Okay, so let's go into some biblical examples in context. So we're going to talk about Judah's jury. What pledge should I give thee? He asked. And she answered, and this is Tamar, your signet and your bracelets and the staff that is in your hand. So he gave them to her and slept with her, and she became pregnant by him. Joseph's jury. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, see, I have set you over all the land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh removed the signet ring from his finger and put it on Joseph's finger. And he clothed him in garments of fine linen and placed a gold chain around his neck. So we know that many people don't realize that wearing jewelry and bracelets and nose rings, and this was a part of our culture, despite what many people teach. And I am going to be sharing some scriptures that you guys are going to find pretty interesting. Joseph was a righteous man. And even when Joseph was enslaved in Egypt, okay, he never sinned against Yah. He never sinned against Yah. He never participated in anything that they were doing sinful, even when they were celebrating the birthday. He did not participate in this. So this was a sign of honor. Okay, Yah was promoting him. And if this was a sin, I can guarantee you that Joseph would not have accepted the gold chain around his neck. Again, this is a jury. I want to read a precept. This is Psalms 105, verses 16 through 21, verse 37. And he called down the famine on the land and cut off all their supplies of food. He sent a man before them, Joseph, sold as a slave. They bruised his feet with shackles and placed his neck in irons until his prediction came true. And the word of Yah proved him right. The king sent and released him. The ruler of peoples set him free. He made him master of his household and ruler over all his substance. So Joseph was made ruler over all of his substance, all of Pharaoh's substance. That meant everything that was precious, he was in charge of it. He brought Israel out with what? Silver and gold. Yah brought Israel out of Egypt, as we're going to see moving forward, with silver and gold. And it says, and none among his tribes stumbled. So let's go into Rebecca's jury. In order for you to get this full gist of this, I ask that you stay until the very end. This is not a very long teaching at all. Stay to the end. This is not even going to take long, because this is how simple this is. And this is the reason why our people really have to be careful when you come to a brother or a sister and make accusations, and especially if it's a false accusation that is not supported by scripture or because you don't have understanding, okay? And this is all about discernment as well. So let's go into Rebecca's jury. And Abraham was old, going on in days, and Yah had blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said to his slave, the oldest in his house, the one who ruled in all that was to him, please put your hand under my thigh, and I will cause you to swear by Yah Elohim of the heavens and the Elohim of the earth, that you will not take a wife for my son Isaac from the daughters of the Canaanites among whom I dwell, but you shall go to my country and to my kindred and take a wife for my son Isaac. And the good slave, which is also a servant, took 10 camels from his master's camel and left. And all his master's goods were in his hands. I want to read this again. And all of his master's goods were in his hand. And he rose up and went to Mesopotamia, to the city of Nahor. So I have goods highlighted in yellow, and I want to go into what this is in a moment, because it says that when he was going to go and find a wife for Rebecca, this is basically about the betrothal and marriage of Rebecca to Isaac. Okay, Yah had blessed Abraham. He had made him wealthy in silver and gold. And Abraham, he did not worship idols. Okay, he did not worship idols. When you look at this precept here, it tells us in Genesis 26:5, when Abba Yah reveals himself to Isaac, he says, your father Abraham listened to my voice, and he heeded my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my Torah. So this tells you the character of who Abraham is. He is the reason why we stand here today with the covenant, because he obeyed the voice of Yah. So let's see what goods mean in the context that is being spoken of in Genesis 24:10. Okay, it says that Abraham's servant left with all of his goods. Okay, so when you look here, it says the goods mean good things. It means good property. It means beauty. Let me say this again. It means beauty, joy, prosperity, goodness of taste, things that are of good taste. I am someone who I have really good taste, and I like very nice things. I am not vain. I am not materialistic. But when it comes to my home, I like for my home to look a certain kind of way. I love beautiful furniture. I would rather, because this is where I reside at. Okay, I'm a homebody. So when I come home, I want my home to be a place of beauty, a place that is peaceful, a place that I can just, just feel like I can really relax. And I have expensive taste. I do. I have expensive taste. I like to live in certain neighborhoods. I like for things to look a certain way. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that, right? It says that Abraham's good, as it is being used in context. When we look down here at the bottom, it says especially goodness. Okay. It says it means the best. So when you look here, it says it means the best. Beauty. Okay. So Abraham's his servant, when he went to go find a wife for Isaac, he took the best that Abraham had, all of his good, the best of his good, those things that were of good taste. And he made the camels kneel outside the city by a well of water at the time of the evening, the time that women would go out to draw. And he said, Yah, Elohim of my master Abraham, I pray, cause her to meet before me this day and show kindness to my master Abraham. Behold, I am standing by the well of water, and the daughters of the men of the city are coming out to draw water. So he wants to make sure that there's a sign that he will know if there's something specifically that she does that will let him know that this is a woman who is approved by Yah to marry Isaac. And this is what he says: and let the girl to whom I shall speak to say this: please let down your pitcher that I may drink. And she will say, drink. And also I will water your camels. Let it be her you have approved for your servant, for Isaac. He says, by this I will know that you have shown kindness to my master. And it happened before he had finished speaking. So let me stop here. So when you look here, verses 14, the servant is basically saying, as I stated before, this is the sign that I want. When I come, I don't want her to just only say, I'm going to give you something to drink, but I'm also going to water your camels too. And so he said, this is how I will know that this is the wife for my servant, Abraham, his son, Isaac. Okay. Verse 15. And it happened before he had finished speaking. Behold, Rebekah came out, she who was born to Bethuel, the son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, the brother of Abraham. She came out with her pitcher on her shoulder. And the girl was a very good form, a virgin. So this means that she was shaped nice. Okay. She was a virgin, a man not having known her. She had not slept with a man. And she went down to the well and filled her pitcher and came up. And the slave, the servant, ran to meet her and said, please let me sip a little water from your pitcher. And she said, drink, my master. And she hurried and let down her pitcher on her hand and gave him a drink. And she finished drinking, and she finished giving drink to him. Sometimes this is worded really funny. And she said, I also will draw for your camels until they have finished drinking. So we see here that she not only said that I'm going to give you something to drink, but she said, I'm going to also draw water for your camels until they have finished drinking. So she's definitely fitting the bill. She's passing the test, okay? And she hurried and emptied her pitcher in the trough. And she again ran to the well and she drew for all his camels. And watching her, the man kept silent in order to know if Yah had prospered his way or not. And it happened when the camels had finished drinking, the man took a golden ring, its weighing of half shekel, 2 bracelets for her hands, and 10 of gold their weighing. Okay, so let me read this again. This reads so weird. So look at verse 22. I want you to pay attention to verse 22. It says, when the camels finished drinking, the man, meaning the servant that Abraham had sent to go find a wife of his choosing, of Yah's approval for his son Isaac, it says, after she finished not only giving him water, but also drawing water for the camels until they finished drinking. When he saw this, He said, it's the scripture tells us that he took a golden ring, okay, 2 bracelets for her hands, okay. Now, last time I checked, bracelets is jewelry, and 10 of gold in their weighing. So he's taking out Abraham's goods. So let's look at this in the context. We're going to go over those things. The golden ring, because it says that the servant took out golden rings to give her. What is a golden ring? This is a nose ring. This is a nose ring or an earring. Okay, a nose ring, a woman's ornament, an earring, an ornament of men or of women. But it says a nose ring or earring. This is, what is this? Jewelry. This is jewelry. He took out jewelry. Bracelet, in the context that it is being used in Genesis 24 and 22, it says it is a bracelet, a cover of vessel. It's a bracelet or arm clamps. This is what you do, an arm clasp. Okay, it's jewelry. What is a bracelet? The source.com tells us that a bracelet is wrist jewelry. It is jewelry for your wrist. It's an ornament. Okay, same thing. And he also took out gold. What is gold? Precious metal. Okay, something that is of brilliance, something that is figuratively of something of splendor, something to shimmer. It says a root word means to shimmer. Shimmer, gold, gold color. Okay, so this was something that was of great splendor, of brilliance, of precious metal. So when she passed the test of not only giving him water, but also feeding the camel and was approved, he began to take out his servants, his master's good, Abraham's good, his precious metals, his earrings, all of these things to give them to Rebecca. And he said, whose daughter are you? Please tell me, is there room for us to stay in your father's house? And she said to him, I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, whom she bore to Nahor. And she said to him, both straw and fodder are plentiful with us, also a room to pass. So she's basically saying, yes, we have plenty of room for you to come and stay. And it says that the man who was the servant, Abraham's servant, it says that the man bowed down and worshiped Yah. So notice, after putting the jewelry upon Rebecca's hands, giving her the goods, what did the servant do? Verse 26 says that the man bowed down and began to worship Yah. He began to worship Yah after he gave her the jewelry. And then he says in verse 27, blessed be Yah, Elohim of my master Abraham, who has not left off his kindness and his truth with my master. I being in the way, Yah guided me to the house of the brother of my master. And he said, come in, blessed of Yah. So now her father is welcoming the servant of Abraham in. He says, come on in, come on. And he called him blessed of Yah. Why didn't he get upset when he found out that he had put jewelry on her? Why didn't he get upset? Why did he say this is wicked? Why didn't he say that this is evil? How dare you put ornaments on her? How dare you put earrings on her? How dare you give her silver and gold? How dare you? He welcomed him in and said, blessed of Yah, why are you standing outside? I have prepared the house and a place for the camels. And the man came into the house and he unloaded the camels and he gave straw and fodder to the camels and water to wash his feet and the feet of the men who were with him, and food was set before him. So not only when he saw the jewelry that was on Rebecca's hands, okay, on her wrists, the earrings, the gold that was given to her. This man was servant of Abraham, was welcomed in. He was called blessed of Yah. They gave food for the camels. They washed his feet and the feet of the men who were with Abraham's servant, and they set out food for them to eat. But then the servant says, I will not eat until I have spoken my message. And he said this is what he said. I am the slave of Abraham, and Yah has blessed my master much, and he is great, and he has given to him flocks and herd, silver and gold. Okay, let me back up. He says that Abraham is blessed by Yah, and Yah has given him much. He has given him what? Flocks and herd, silver and gold, and male slaves, slave girls, camels, donkeys, meaning servants, male and female servants, camels and donkeys. He says, and my master's wife bore a son to my master when she was old, and he has given to him all that is his. So he's letting him know your daughter will be well taken care of. He is very rich. He is blessed by Yah. Yah has given him much, and he begins to tell him all of the goodness, all of Abraham's good. He reveals all of the goods that Abraham has, and that he says he's going to give all that he has to his son if you allow your daughter to marry him. Okay. And I asked her, and I said, whose daughter are you? And she said, the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Nahor. So he is recalling, just basically reiterating the conversation that he had with Rebecca. He said, I asked Rebecca, whose daughter are you? She said, I'm the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Nahor, whom Milcah bore to him. And then he says, I put a ring on her nose and braces on her hand. Let me back up. He said, I put a ring on her nose and braces on her hand. Let me say this again. And I put a ring on her nose and I put bracelets on her hand. And then what he say, after he put a ring on her nose and bracelets on her hands, he says that I bowed and worshiped Yah. He worshiped Yah after he put the jury on Rebecca. He bowed and worshiped Yah. He said, and I bless Yah, the Elohim of my master Abraham, who guided me in the true way to take for his son the daughter of the brother of my master. So as you can see, this you can't wear jury doctrine is already fallen and has crumbled to pieces. It does not stand, but we're going to keep going. Okay. And now, if you are going to do kindness and truth of my master, tell me. And if not, tell me so that I may turn to the right or to the left. And Laban and Bethuel answered and said, the thing has come from Yah. We're not able to speak to you good or evil. So he's basically saying, if this has come from Yah, that she is to be the bride, then he said, we can't speak one thing or another. Then he says, behold, Hebrew letter, hey, reveal, something's getting ready to happen. Behold, Rebecca is before you. What did he say? Take her and go, and let her become the wife of the son of your master, as Yah has spoken. And it happened when the slave of Abraham heard these words, he bowed himself to the earth, to Yah. So if it was a sin, we know that Abraham was righteous. He was a righteous man. If it was a sin, why would he have sent earrings and silver and gold to give to the woman that would become his son's wife? His servant, it tells you in Genesis 24:10 that he left with all of Abraham's good, all of his precious things. We've already looked up that these goods are things of good taste. Okay, these are things that are precious, shiny, shimmering things, earrings, nose rings. It says, and the slave brought out jewelry of silver and jewelry of gold and garments. So after Rebecca's father has granted the request and said, take her. She is yours. She can become the wife of the son of your master, whom Yah has spoken. He bowed himself to the earth. And then at that very moment, in verse 53, it says that the servant of Abraham brought out jewelry of silver, jewelry of gold, and garments, probably beautiful. Remember, this is of good taste, okay? And then what did he do? It tells you right here. He gave it to Rebecca. If this was simple, if it was simple to wear silver, wear gold, to wear jewelry, and wear precious things, why would Abraham send these things when we know that he is a righteous man? This is why we have to learn how to study. Many people like to come, especially, and with many of us in Israel, this is where we lack. This is where we lack. We don't know how to study. We worrying about who got on pants, worried about who got their head covered, worried about who can speak fluent Hebrew. And many of you are still fornicating. Many of you are still don't know how to study, still following false doctrine and worrying and just going around pointing the finger, always looking to accuse someone and to condemn someone who is not breaking Yah's Torah. It says that after he gave Rebecca jewelry of silver and jewelry of gold, beautiful garments, it says that he also gave precious things to her brother and her mother. So not just Rebecca, but the brother and the mother too. Precious things. What are these precious things? The Good News Translation, I wanted to share this. It says that this is what the Good News Translation said. He also gave precious things to her brother and to her mother. So what precious things? Let's look up this precious. Let's go back to the precious thing. Choice thing. Choice things means the best. The best. Excellent things. Preciousness, that which is a gem. This is what was given to Rebecca and to her mother and to her brother. The Good News Translation said he brought out jewelry, brought out clothing and silver of gold and jewelry. He brought out clothing and silver and gold jewelry. So he brought out clothing and silver and gold jewelry, and he gave them to Rebecca. He also gave expensive gifts to her brother and to her mother. This is the Good News Translation. I really like this, so I wanted to keep it. So we come to this part because I told you this is not gonna be long. It's called asking for a friend. You're asking for a friend. So we're gonna ask for a friend. Is it unlawful to wear jewelry? Not for myself, but I'm asking for a friend, because I had somebody that kind of reached out to me. So I'm asking for a friend. Is it unlawful to wear jewelry? Remember, everything must be established by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. And so now we're going to talk about the Israelites, okay? Do you know that Yah commanded the Israelite to spoil the Egyptians and all of their good things? Let's read Exodus 3. And I will stretch out my hand and strike Egypt with all my wonders, which I will do in its midst. And afterwards, Yah said, and he will send you away. And I will give this people favor in the eyes of Egypt. And it shall be when you go, you will not go empty. Yah told Israel, Pharaoh is going to let you go because I'm going to stretch out my hand and I'm going to strike them with many wonders and he's going to send you away. And then when you go, but Yah said, you're not going to leave empty. This is the same thing that was prophesied to us. When we leave Babylon, we're not leaving empty. It was prophesied in Genesis 15:13. Okay, he told us to know for sure that your seed is going to go into slavery, and for 400 years, he says, but we're going to leave out with substance. We are going to leave out. So he says, you're not going to go out empty. He says, and each woman shall ask of her neighbor and from the stranger of her house. So Yah saying, you're going to ask them for these things. You're going to ask them for what? Article of silver, articles of gold. This is articles. When you look this up, this is jewelry, ornaments, jewelry of silver, jewelry of gold, and garments. And what did Yah tell them you shall do? You shall put these these on your sons and your daughters. Let me read this again. He said, you're going to go ask your neighbor. You're going to go ask them for these things. These are the Egyptians, because you're not going to leave out empty. He said, you're going to ask them for articles of silver and articles of gold, ornaments of silver and gold, jewelry, silver and gold and garments. And Yah said, you're going to put these on your sons and daughters. So if it is sinful, if it is unlawful to wear jewelry, why is he telling the children of Israel that you're not going to leave Egypt, but you're going to leave with silver and gold? You're going to leave with jewelry, and you're going to put their clothes on. You're going to have on all their jewelry, their garments. You and your sons and daughters are going to wear this. What did Yah say? You shall plunder Egypt. And Yah said to Moses, I will bring yet one more plague on Pharaoh and on Egypt. Afterwards, he will send you from here. When he sends you away completely, surely he will drive you out from here. Now, speak in the ears of the people and let them ask, each man from his neighbor, jewels of silver, jewels of gold. Do you see this? Once again, he is commanding him to ask for jewelry, silver and gold jewelry, as you see above, so that you put these things on. Put these on your sons and your daughters. Still asking for a friend. I'm still asking for a friend. Okay, because a friend of mine, a little birdie, wants to know, is it unlawful to wear jewelry? So we're going to clear this up. And the sons of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they asked from the Egyptians. Okay, so this was what was commanded. And it says that the sons of Israel did according to the words of Moses. And they asked from the Egyptian for jewelry, jewels of silver, jewels of gold, and clothing. And Yah gave favor to the people in the eyes of the Egyptians, and they granted their request, and they plundered Egypt. Once again, we have to make sure when we are saying things that we're not saying things let me say this. We want to make sure that if you come to someone and you're coming to make an accusation, or you're coming, and let's say if you just want to share the truth in love, make sure that you know for sure, for certain, okay, that you find out the matter of a thing before you come to them, that you actually know for certain that they are in violation of the law, that you're not falsely accusing them, that you don't have that Pharisee, Sadducee spirit on you where you're looking to accuse. Many times in Israel, they're looking at people and frowning up, and they're upset and they're mad, and let me see what I can find. Oh yeah, she don't have on pants. Many of these spirits that's going on with us is the spirit of envy and jealousy, and I'll leave it there because I've dealt with it since I've been in here. But you want to make sure that you're not falsely accusing, because then now you are walking in sin when you're falsely accusing someone of committing a crime and they have not. There is no scripture, and you will not find it anywhere where it tells you that it is a sin to wear jewelry. Even Yah himself adorned Israel with jewelry. If it was sinful to wear jewelry, why is Yah saying the following? And I adorn you with ornaments, and I put bracelets on your hands, and a chain on your neck. And I gave a jewel for yourself, and rings for your ears, and a crown of beauty on your head. And I adorn you with gold and silver. Hold up. Do you see this? Yah said, I adorn you. He's talking to Israel. I adorn you with ornaments. Okay. I gave you jewelry. I put bracelets on your hands. I put a chain around your neck. I gave a jewel for yourself, and rings for your ears, and a crown of beauty on your head. He says, you were adorned with silver and gold. Your clothing, he says, was fine linen and silk and broidered work. This is of good taste. Yah has good taste. We are his children. Should we not have good taste? He is our Abba. He is our Father. What do you think the kingdom is going to look like? Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard what he got planned, the place. He said, I go to prepare a place. That place, we can't even probably fathom what the kingdom is going to look like. How beautiful. Yah said, you had fine flour and honey and oil you ate. Look what he says here. You were very, very beautiful. Yah said that Israel, when he adorned us with ornaments, jewels, bracelet, chains around our neck, jewels and rings for our ears, crowns of beauty on our head, we had beautiful hair. You were adorned with gold and silver. Your clothing was fine linen, silk. You had the best. He says, you were very, very beautiful. He says, and you advanced to regal state. Your name went out among the nations because of your beauty, for it was perfect by my splendor, which I set on you. Yah said, I did this, declares Almighty Yah. But then Yah says, something happened. You began to trust in your beauty. Where have we heard this story at before? I will be like the Most High. Where have we heard this before? Yah says that Israel, after they were adorned, they began to trust in their beauty. And then he says, you began to play the harlot because of your name and poured out your fornications on all who passed by. He said, it was to him. He says, and you took from your clothes and you made of your high places of various colors and you fornicated with him, such as had not come nor shall be. And you have taken beautiful things of my gold and silver. Yah said, you took the beautiful things of my gold and silver, which I had given to you, and you made images of males. And then you did what? He says, you fornicated with him. See, do you see this? See, in the world, many of the women right now are taking makeup tips, and I'm endorsing it at all. Okay. They're taking feminine tips, how to look feminine, how to look like a woman from transgenders, from men who are trying to be you. Now women got to bake their face with all this powder and all this blush, and then they got to they got to contour their face and draw a line around their face. And I'm like, transgenders use this, men use this to soften up their look because they're not women. So they have to contour. Why are women contouring their face? This is the reason, like growing up, I've always hated foundation. I've never really liked it, even when I did put it on for like photo shoots for things for my business or photo shoots when I was doing pictures and stuff like that. I quickly took it off. When I got married, I quickly took it off. I couldn't wait to get it off. I've never really cared for the fake nails, never cared for and now they got the demon nails and women are following after that. And I'm like, what is it that we're not getting? A lot of this stuff is coming from the kingdom of darkness. Okay, I do not believe in having your face plastered with a lot of makeup. I don't. I truly believe that we should be modest in our apparel and even in our appearance. You can be beautiful. During my fast recently, I shared, if you guys did not know, y'all told me that you were wonderfully created. You don't need to add anything else. Okay, but Israel, now we have gotten haughty. We're in our dress where everything is hanging out. You have to have your breasts hanging out. You got to have your behind hanging out. You got to have your everything super, 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 super tight so everything can be seen like an X-ray. We got to have on excessive amount of makeup to the point where we're looking like drag queens. Everything now, just from the clothing, even the shoes. And Yah showed me, and actually the Ruach, and I had not paid attention to it. The shoes with the open toe with the high heel, and he showed me this is the Baphomet shoe. This is the goat shoe. These shoes are for you to walk up like this with the open toes, so you have your two toes out, just like you are a goat. Okay, just like the Baphomet. And I looked at those shoes, and I had looked at them, and I had bought them a while ago and never worn them. And one day I picked them up, and Yah allowed me to see, and I threw those things so quickly in the trash. Um, and it's just like right now, and I'm gonna be honest, there's been a lot of changes that I've been making over the past year. I am not by any means a finished product at all. Yah is still working on me, and there's things that he's working out of me, but there's been a lot of changes that I have made personally, because Yah have, brought them to my attention, and because I want to be a daughter of Zion. I want to be a daughter of Yah, one whom he looks at and be pleased. And I'll leave it at that. And maybe I will share my testimony at another time. But the daughter of Zion, they began to fornicate with the things that he gave them. Okay. And so let's go to this infamous Isaiah 3:16, because we're at the end. Is Isaiah 3:16 scripture that many take to use, and they'll use this to say, oh, well, see, this is why you're not supposed to be wearing jewelry, and this is why your head is bald. And it's like, okay, once again, we have to stay in context. Okay, so let's break down Isaiah chapter 3 and 16. We'll do this in context. Okay, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. Oh, my people, those leading you cause you to go astray, and they swallow the way of your path. So we know this is a prophecy that the majority of our homes will be led by women, and we do see this. There are no men in the home. The fathers are not in the home, and majority of our homes are being led by single parent women, and many of have taken on this society. I don't need no man. I can do it all by myself, shaking the head. I'm an independent woman. That is the enemy. Okay. The removal of the man out of the home comes from Satan himself. Okay. The same people who came up with the abortion clinics and all this is that a lot of what we're doing right now is self-inflicted wounds, and we don't understand why our children are the way they are. Okay. And Yah says, because the daughters of Zion are proud and walk with stretched out necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and make a tinkling with their feet. So I want to go back to wanton eyes, because he says they walk with wanton eyes. So people will say, oh, you got on wanton eyes is because you got on makeup. Once again, wanton eyes is not eyeshadow. Okay. This is not wanton eyes. And this is not wanton eyes. It's kind of looking at wanton eyes. But the one, if I was going to say wanton eyes, the one on the right will be more of wanton eyes than the left, just because of the look, the fixed stare. Okay, so let's go to the ancient Hebrew lexicon of the Bible for this wanton. It says wanton is meaning want. When you are making your eyes look seductive in a way where you are wanted or desired. Okay, so it means to ogle. It says to ogle. So someone is ogling. Okay. When you look down here at the bottom, it says to blink. Okay. So a woman who is ogling is a woman who is blinking. The source says it means to look fixedly, like we looked at the woman on the right. You're looking in a certain way. It's to make eyes at. And so if we were going to have a visual picture of what wanton looks like, this is wanton eyes. This is the haughty woman that our Abba Yah is talking about. She has her neck stretched out, eyes she's batting her eyes. She doesn't need anybody. It's actually flirting. Okay, it's like you're flirting your eyes. This is showing how the end time women would be. Okay. The end time women feel proud to be independent of their husbands. They're proud to be having children out of wedlock. They're proud of this. And what's going to happen with them, Isaiah 3:16 is not a scripture or a law saying that you can't wear jewelry. This is judgment and punishment for the haughty daughter of Zion, whom he said, I gave you silver and gold and earrings and ornaments. I adorn you, and now you're going to whore. You're playing the harlot. You got your neck stretched out. You got your hand. I don't need nobody. I'm independent. You have turned your back on Yah, and this is the reason why many of these things are happening to our daughter. He has removed the beauty. He is removing the adornment that many of our women once had. So says Yah, since you're walking wanton, you got wanton eyes. You got your neck stretched out, your hands pointed. I don't need nobody. I can do what I want. Yah says he will make the crown of your head, the daughter of Zion. He said it will be a scab. Okay, you will have a scab. Yah says he will lay their secret parts bare. And that day, Yah will take away the beauty. Many of our women, the beauty that we had with the beautiful hair that we had, he says, Yah said, I'm taking it away, not because it is sinful, but because you have turned your back on me. You have become haughty. You have become proud. You are boasting in your ignorance. Okay. When you look down here at the bottom, this is Naomi Campbell. They call her the supermodel. This is her hair. She doesn't have any hair. This is her without makeup. This is the reason why many of you following behind these celebrities, a lot of the makeup that they're wearing, it is witchcraft, because you don't know what they look like. When a lot of them, when they take that makeup off, to be honest, if you've seen any photos, a lot of them look very scary without that makeup. They look like night and day. It is witchcraft because it's a complete morph and transformation of who they are. This is a reason why our women, Yah said he's taken away the beauty. There's many of our women, we have alopecia, and many of our women, this is the reason why we wear so many weaves and wigs, is because our beauty has been taken away. Our crown that we once had, Yah says, now become a scab. So now we are now using practices and beauty tips that are actually making our hair worse. It's taking our hair out, wearing the quick weaves and what I don't know what they call it, the two-piece. I know I'm probably just messing it up badly. I don't know what they call it, but you have the where it's sitting up on top of your head and you gluing. You have to think about, you're gluing scalp. If you're putting glue on your scalp, that's going into your bloodstream. Can't Countess Vaughn, the actress, she talked about how she almost died from continuing to put these quick weaves on top of her hair where you just gluing it down. Yah says that instead of your crown, I'm going to give you a scab. I'm going to lay your secret parts bare. Yah said he's going to take away the beauty of the what? The ankle bracelets, the beauty of the headbands and the crescents. He said, I'm going to take away the pendants, the bracelets and the veils, the turbans, the leg ornaments, the sashes, the houses of the souls, and the amulets. Yah said, I'm going to take all of these things away. What else he said I'm going to take away? I'm going to take away the rings, the earrings, and the nose jewels, the festal apparel, all the, elaborate embroidered garments. I'm going to take this all away. The mantles, the purses, all this stuff, the mirrors, the fine linen, the turbans, the veils. He said, instead of all of these things, it shall be, instead of a smell of perfume, you're going to stink. Remember, I told you during my 3-day fast with the flies, Yah said to Israel, you stink, and he is not pleased. He is not pleased. He said that you stink. Instead of perfume, you will not be a sweet smell, a sweet savor that go up to him. You will be an odor of decay that go up to him when you go to pray to him. He said instead of a sash or a rope, and instead of well set hair, you're going to have baldness. Yah said instead of having well set hair, you're going to have baldness. Instead of a rich robe, a girding of a sackcloth, You're going to have a scar instead of beauty. Your men shall fall by the sword of your mighty in the war, and her gates shall lament and mourn, and she shall sit bare on the ground. So was all of these things happening because of the jury? This was not happening because of the jury. It wasn't happening. He wasn't taking away the jury because you sinning against me and you breaking the law because you have on jury. So now I'm going to give you a scab. People try to use Isaiah 3:16 to say this is the reason why many of our African-American women are bald and don't have hair is because they're haughty because they're wearing jewelry. And I'm like, where are you getting this? Clearly, anybody who studied and knows how to study and line up precept know that this is not it at all. I don't know where our people get these things. So the ornaments and everything was being taken away was because of their haughtiness and them sinning and committing adultery. Ornaments mentioned, when we see ornaments being mentioned in scripture, especially with Israel at this time, Israel, when he talks about all the things that they had, this was when they were living in a state of prosperity. They were living in a state of ease, and this was all due to the fact of them being obedient. But when they began to be disobedient, the removal of all these things that he once adorned them with, this signified judgment. This was about punishment that he was going to bring down on them. And unfortunately for the daughters, it was their hair, okay? Them being bald. And so let's talk about the inappropriate uses of jewelry to close this out. And as you see here with the golden calf, there is an inappropriate way that you can use jewelry. I don't wear jewelry and I'm wearing something with an Egyptian ankh, or wearing something with a pharaoh, or wearing what they call it, the Star of David, which is nothing but a hexagon satanic, I don't wear those things. You have to be very careful when you go to other countries, and people come bringing back things from Mardi Gras. You do not bring demonic things into your home. You bring curses in your home. You have to be very careful of the jewelry that you bring, even if it's coming from Africa, because there's a lot of witchcraft that goes on in Africa as well. Okay, people think, oh, I just picked this up in Africa. You don't know what spirit is attached to that, and a lot of these spirits are attached to this fake hair as well. That's why they came out with that movie. They pray to their gods over that fake hair, well, over the hair and well, actually it's the real hair, not the fake hair, but the real hair. When people want the real hair, that real hair, they're praying to their pagan gods over that hair before it gets sold here, and you put it in your head. Okay, it's a curse. So Israel's jewelry and idolatry. Let's talk about Israel's jewelry and idolatry, as you saw. And the people saw that Moses delayed to come down from the mountain. So Yah is giving Moses the commandments. He's up on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights. They're impatient. They can't wait for him to come back down. And it says, and the people saw that Moses delayed to come down from the mountain, and the people gathered to Aaron. And they said to him, rise up, make for us gods who may go before our face. As for this man Moses, they like, who brought us up from the land of Egypt. He said, we don't know what is becoming him. So they like, okay, he been up there for 40 days. We don't know how much longer he gonna be up there. We don't know what has happened to him. All we know is we gotta find a God to serve. So what do? Aaron said to them, and this is what always interests me, because I'm always wondering, like, why did Aaron do this? Like, because they had the mixed multitudes that was with them that came out of Egypt. But I'm like, Aaron? But it says, Aaron said to them, take off the gold earrings which are in your ears of your wives, your sons, and your daughter. Let me say this again. Take off the gold earrings which are in the ears of your wives, your sons, and your daughters. Let me read it again. Aaron said to them to do what? Take off the gold earrings which are in your ears of your wives, your sons, and your daughters. So it should say which are in the ears. This thing reads funny sometimes, but these are, once again, they're wearing earrings. So if it is unlawful to wear earrings, why are they wearing earrings? Remember, Yah told them that you are not going to leave out of Egypt empty. And he told them to ask them for all of their things. They're going to give you everything. And they left out with all kinds of jewels. He says, bring all your earrings here. Bring them here. And all the people broke off the earrings of gold in their ears, and they brought them to Aaron, and he took them from their hand, and he formed with it an engraving tool. And he made a casted calf. And they said, these are your guys, O Israel, who brought you up out of the land of Egypt. So what are they doing? They are taking the jury that Yah allowed and actually commanded for them to take out of Egypt, which was not unlawful because Yah told them to take it and wear it. But it is not the fact that wearing jewelry or jewelry in it of itself is unlawful or sinful. It is what you do. If I'm not worshiping my jewelry, how is it that I'm sinful because I'm wearing the tree of life? How is it I'm sinning because I'm wearing small, dainty silver earrings? I'm dressed in modest apparel. I'm coming from work and I have someone pretty much attacking me about and accusing me of being unlawful, when actually this person owes me an apology because they are the ones that's been unlawful. They are being false accusers. We got to really make sure before you accuse someone that you are really certain that they have transgressed the Torah. It says that they made a casted calf and then they bowed down and said they forgot all about Yah and everything that he had done and how he brought them out by a mighty arm. Okay, and they looked at this golden calf because Moses didn't come back in enough time and said, well, this will be the guy that brought us out of Egypt. And Aaron saw, and he built an altar. So not only did they take the earrings that Yah allowed for them to take out of Egypt and to wear, okay, they made a pagan god. Aaron even built an altar to it and then had the nerve to say, a feast to Yah tomorrow. They are getting ready to have a feast to Yah. This is how Yah says my people perish for lack of knowledge. This is the reason why he said my people, they don't know me. He said ox knows its owner, but Israel don't even consider. He says they rose up early in the morning and offered a burnt offering and brought near peace offering, and the people sat to eat and drink, and they rose up to make merry. So they having a party. Do you hear me? They don't create a feast. They having a celebration and offering it up to Yah. I can see why he told Moses, move out of the way because I'm getting ready to kill him. But Moses prayed for these people and Yah had pity on them. And then Joshua says, Joshua heard the voice of the people and they're shouting. And he said to Moses, a sound of war in the camp? And he says, this is not a sound of a cry of might or nor a sound of a cry of defeat. They ain't nothing wrong with them. They ain't in no war. He said, I'm hearing singing. Like they singing, they dancing around the calf. Look at them. He says they came near to the camp and saw the calf and the dances, and the anger of Moses glowed, and he threw the tablets from his hands and he broke them below the mountain. And he took the calf which they had made and burned it with fire. So they made the calf. They took the jewelry that Yah allowed them to adorn themselves with, the jewelry that was not unlawful, but they made it unlawful because of what they did with it. And he says he burned it with fire and ground it until it was fine. He scattered it on the face of the water. And then he made the sons of Israel to drink it. And Moses said to Aaron, what has this people done to you that they have caused you to come to such a great sin? Like, what is these people? He's like, what kind of witchcraft spirit they put on you to cause you to put them under this kind of great sin where you talking about building an altar and saying this be the God? So what was the great sin? Was the great sin that, what did he say? What is this great sin that these people have that they got on jewelry and earrings? No, that was not it. The sin was not the wearing of jewelry. It was about the fact of what they were doing with the jewelry. It had become a god. Okay, and so in Israel, what is it about the adornment of oneself that many people in Israel consider sinful? I'm going to ask this again because I'm at the end. Why Why is the adornment of oneself considered sinful? If you are not and vain, boasting and bragging and conceited, you're not taking a billion selfies and doing, I'm not talking about that Kim Kardashian, that kind of thing. I'm talking about just someone who, takes, and I don't want to say takes pride, but cares for how they look, adorns themselves. What is it with the Israelite community, especially the men that have our daughters thinking that beauty is sinful? We see that Yah said that we were very, very beautiful. He adorned us with all kinds of ornaments and jewelry, beautiful, fine linen. Abraham sent his servants to go find a wife for his son Isaac, and he sent his best, that which is of good taste. What is it with our people that in this Israelite community that they think that if you look pleasant or you look pleasing, that you're sinful? My husband likes for me to look nice and dresses and to dress up for him. I like to look nice for my husband. I like to put on different kinds of perfumes and to wear pretty dresses and to wear nice clothing of good taste. He buys me whatever I want. He gives me whatever I want. I don't dress whorish. I don't look whorish, but I like to look nice for my, what is it where if someone, Israel act like if you put a comb to your head, oh, you sinning because you comb your hair. Oh, you brush your hair, you put a brush on your head. Israel, especially a lot of these men, and they don't convince many of our women where they looking side-eyed at you if you brush your teeth. They got that Angel Mima effect. I am convinced that many of y'all in this Israelite community, y'all not going to be satisfied until you get Mrs. Buttersworth. I am not Mrs. Buttersworth. I have never been like that. I have good taste. I come from my Abba Yah. I like fine linen. I like fine clothing. I like beautiful jewelry. I'm not gaudy because I don't like gaudy jewelry. I like to dress nice and I like to look nice. That does not mean because I comb my head, because I put on lip gloss, because I have on my the tree of life, that I dress, that if I look nice, I have on a nice dress, that I'm sinful. Israel, stop spending all your time trying to accuse someone, always trying to find something wrong when there is no wrong. This message is not to condemn this woman who came to me, but it is, I hope that she sees this, and I pray that she will repent and that she will reach back out to me and apologize, because you falsely accused me of something that was untrue. And I didn't feel like I had to, but y'all was like, no, do this teaching. And the reason why you're being attacked is because he brought it back to my memory. You're getting ready to go to the next level. I told you when you fasted for 3 days, and that means you're getting ready to be attacked. The attack is going to come. You're going to have people, and he allowed it for a reason. He allowed it for a reason, because we are right now in these end times, and we got to be ready. I just recently did a teaching on the hidden gems, the precious things, in the teaching hide and seek. And we know in that teaching hide and seek, we learn that precious things, those things that are precious, those things that are valuable, are hidden. They're hidden. The pearls are hidden on the bottom of the ocean. They're hidden in oysters. Diamonds are below the earth crust. Anything that is of value, that is of worth, is hidden. Even Yah, he says, you will seek and find me. When you seek me, you will find me. When you search for me with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. Even our Master Yahusha even compared the kingdom of heaven to excellent pearls, excellent jewelry. So how is wearing jewelry sinful? He said again, the kingdom of heaven is compared to a man, a merchant seeking excellent pearls, who, finding one very precious pearl, going away, has sold all things, as many as he had, and bought it. Yah, our Master Yahusha, compares the kingdom of heaven to excellent pearls, jewelry. So how is it sinful to wear jewelry if he's comparing jewelry, precious jewelry, to the kingdom of heaven? Stop with this accuser of the brethren spirit, and especially for many of you who do not know how to study. Remember, you cannot accuse someone of committing a crime just on one witness. It must be on the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. I have given you several. Remember, 1 John 3 and 4 says that whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law. This is what sin is. Where was the sin? Where was the sin that I committed? Where there is no transgression against the Torah, there is no sin. So those of you who try to point the finger and, I agree with you, about the celebrities, but you got on makeup and you got on jewelry. And I'm like, what? And at first I was like, wow. And then Yah revealed to me, remember what I told you before, okay? When you get ready to go to the next level, he prepares you by taking you to the wilderness to be tested, okay? This, you're going to be tested. You're going to be attacked. Expect for it to happen, and because the persecution is coming even more. And we got to be able to be ready and to be able to be stand. But can you give an answer? This person came to me unlawfully, falsely accusing me. That was only one witness. There is no witness in scripture that supports jury being unlawful when Yah even himself says that he adorned us and gave us this and told us and commanded them to wear it. Abraham was righteous. Joseph was righteous. I showed you more than 3 testimonies. So I was not proven to be false. The person who came after me was proven to be false. And I pray for this person, pray that she will learn how to study. And I pray that you all not be moved when people are coming after you a lot of times, especially to accuse. And this time, Israel, we find this happens all the time where people are going to try to find fault. My last message that I want to say to Israel is to stop finding fault with everything that is going on in this world right now. We